Yo, 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 yo. Let me double check, make sure everything is looking and sounding good. But what's going on, homies? What's going on, my people? Uh, Welcome back to another banger OLS series we got coming up. Uh, we've got Nigel's team on one side and Enrique's team on the other. Uh, and it should be a pretty good matchup. Now, before we go in, let me just. Oh, what is that? Good heavens. I'll just leave that right here for a second while I try to work on some tech issues. You guys know how it is. I got pulled up on my phone. I am streaming live right now. What? Okay. Mm. Alright. Now let me double check and make sure that things are looking good on the stream. Alright. Now let me double check and. Okay. Yeah, I can hear. Uh, Alright, now I'm gonna take this time to really quickly make sure that the in-game audio is working out good. Because the last time that I streamed,
Nothing can hold me back.
I wasn't sure if the audio was looking good or not.
Now I'm angry.
Alright, we're good. So, everybody, welcome back to OLS. As I was saying, we've got two teams in the first playoff game of the season. Uh, the entire season. The very first one. Numero uno. The ground zero of elite competition for OLS. And it's going to start with Nigel, his team, the Super Spreaders. They clawed their way in. Just barely made it into the playoffs. But we're able to do it. They got it. They got it done. Alright. They're in, and they are going to be playing Enrique's team, the BLACKROck Battle Bunnies. Not only Enrique, there are four other people on the team. But they were pretty convincing, I believe. Definitely had a strong playoff spot. They might have been number one in their division, to be honest. Uh, Let me go and look it up. Yeah, so they were second. They're second place. They were slightly behind um, Kyle's team, I believe, because they got 2-1. They like lost one game in the series like once or twice. So they didn't get a bye. However, you know, they do get to pull up and, sometimes arguably you could say that having a game before and not having the bye is actually better. So that you don't get, lazy or whatnot. Um, so um, yeah, I mean, well, I can just go ahead and run through who all is on what team. On the Super Spreaders side, they got Balling Kitten 43, aka Nigel, their jungler and captain. Um, Nigel, he is a Rengar one trick mostly, but he has been branching out a bit. He usually will play around a diamond level, give or take. Depends on if he has been playing on too many Smurfs or not. Tragically for Nigel, I'm pretty sure has only been playing on Smurfs. So we'll see how that works out. Um, we have, I would say, their best player, Steven. Who is these characters right here. He is labeled as Diamond 3, but he's actually a Masters player. Um, they typically were putting him in the top lane. He likes to play like Darius and like Fiora and shit like that. But recently they've actually been putting him at ADC. They put him at ADC against us. He played Twitch one game and Lucian another game, so he and he was doing quite well once he transitioned. So we'll see if they decide to do that again. In addition to those two guys, their third, like I would say the third member of the big three for them is Display Name. He is I believe he's Emerald mid lane player. Sometimes they'll put him bot lane if they want to put Chansey mid or something like that. Um, and he usually plays like Mel or Hui. But between the three of them, that's mainly who they've got uh, being their guys, right? And then they have Xavier, Sky Blue Dragon, and Epimp. Arjun in the they've been putting Arjun in the top lane. They started him at ADC, but they kicked him out to the top lane, and he actually has been flourishing playing Cassante. So I would expect to see Epimp top um, playing Cassante, and then Xavier, Sky Blue Dragon. He's the Thresh Goat, premier hooker. In all else I'd say. Um, he can nail some crazy ass engages. Very very good support. Um, he wasn't able to do too much the first couple of games because cringe players would lane swap top, and so they would essentially just try to neutralize Chance in the top lane. Um, and if you're playing two silvers in the bot lane versus like a top laner, it's pretty hard to like pull off a successful dive or something like that if your both your bot laners are like silver gold players, right? So they kicked Epimp to the top lane, and he's actually been holding it down up there. He's been doing very very well for his rank. When he gets Cassante, the other picks are hit or miss. Um, but maybe he's got some shit cooked up. And then on the other side, we have Enrique, Krusty Krab, Masters tier player, very, very, very solid guy. Huge champion pool. He's been primarily playing jungle this split. I haven't seen him play too many other positions. He traditionally can play like Vladimir mid and stuff like that, or like Zed mid. but he mostly will play jungle. He'll play like Karthus is a big pick of his. Hecarim. Uh, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, he played Riven fucking jungle in S1 game, right? Like, he's kind of a psycho in the sense that he will just pick like whatever he feels like. Graves is another one that he'll play, right? Like, um, huge champion pool. So generally his team plays through Krusty Krab. Now there is another, a secondary win condition. Um, Scoop is their mid, or he plays ADC, I believe. Um, and Shiny Trico is their mid laner. He's their real mid laner. Shiny Trico, Katarina one trick, but he does have other picks. He just his claim to fame is the Katarina. But I've seen him play Fizz allegedly. I've seen him play Cassidon is another Shiny Trico like classic pick. Zed. He likes playing assassins. He likes playing stuff like that. Um, he played Garen in Us, which leads me to my second point, which is their support Curse of Dragons. This guy is pretty good. He went for criminally low number of points. Um, and Curse of Dragons is like traditionally he's got a weird champion pool, which I think is the reason why he went for less points than he probably should have, given his rank. He plays like weird shit. He plays like Blitzcrank. He plays Senna. He plays Zillion. He plays stuff that you have to like change your your game around, right? Um, but he's also really good at those picks, and especially in OLS this season, he has been I would say an integral part of this team, right? Um, if you slap Curse of Dragons on his Zillion, and you have Shiny Trico playing Garen mid, uh, we pretty much couldn't get away from him. It was really difficult to do anything about it, right? I'm trying to find this draft. Here it is. Um, and he's been playing really well in the bot lane. As their support, he roams a lot. Um, yeah, Scoop. I was under the impression Scoop primarily plays mages. Um, I think Scoop. I don't remember if he is on this team or if he's subbing. They have to have a sub. Um, but I don't know who is their sub. Yeah, Scoop typically. I want to say Scoop. They typically put him bot lane at ADC. But he doesn't actually play ADC. He plays like mages and stuff like that. I think he's got a MF game in here, so uh, he's a capable dude. I've played with him a couple times before. Um, he's good. He's a pretty solid communicator. You throw a scoop down there, and you're not really trying to strong side him because you play for Krusty Krab on this team. So you really need somebody to just kind of hold the line. And honestly, if you play Hui and you use clear waves, it's like not even you, you don't really have to worry about him like dying or anything super crazy, you know. And they got one player down unless Vittle's name changed to uh, I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. I gotta figure out who this is. I think this is TDL. Uh, I think that his name is Taiwan Freedom Fighter, if I remember correctly. uh, that's kind of double. Is that a sub in for Biddles? That's got to be a sub in for Biddles, huh? TDL is a silver player. I think he's silver. Let me see. He does not play like a silver though. TDL plays like he is a gold or something like that. At the minimum, gold plat. At least from what I've seen him in. I can't even look up this guy's fucking op.gg, but he plays like Cho'Gath and stuff. And the draft is underway, ladies and gentlemen. So it looks like, if you remember correctly, the BBB on the right is Enrique's team. So the super spreaders have banned Zed and they have banned Graves. So it looks like they're just gonna be trying to chip away at Enrique's champion pool. Um, we'll see if they drop a Katarina ban. I would expect they probably do. Katarina is something that Shiny Trico is very, very good at. Uh, but I don't know. I mean, if you're playing Fearless, you might just want to let him have pick it, and you don't have to ban it every single game from here into the end of time. On the other side, we we get a Fiora ban from Enrique. Oh, they banned the Karthus actually, so they leave up the Katarina. That's an interesting strategy. Um, maybe the intent is that they're not going to blind pick Katarina, which maybe is fair, or maybe they have a counter, set up for it. Um, on the other side, the Battle Bunnies have banned Fiora, they have banned Wukong, and they are banning the Rengar. So, you know, they ban away two of Nigel's premier junglers, and then they ban away Fiora, sort of um, Chansey's best champion, I would say. Maybe somewhere in there. It's like number one, number two. I'd say his Vladimir is probably a little bit better, but traditionally he's a bit better. Um, and the super spreaders have chosen Cassante, so that's gonna be the EPIM Cassante. Kind of weird they didn't ban it to be honest, but you know, you do what you do. It looks like they picked Pantheon. I TBD if it's gonna be a top lane path or if it's gonna be a support Pantheon. I don't know if I ever really have seen um, Curse of Dragons play Pantheon support, but you know, I've never I've never seen him play a bunch of stuff. I probably have seen him play it and I just forgot it to be honest. My memory ain't what it used to be, dude. And we get a Swain lock in. I'm gonna guess that is a Swain ADC for Scoop. Interesting that they did decide not to go for the Hue. Um, because if you take the Hue here, then it does pick it away from away from display name. Um, they kick it back to the super spreaders who choose Thresh. Uh, as I was saying earlier, that's one of Xavier's prime picks. At support, that's exactly who you want him to be on. Um, he's kind of sick with it. Need I say need I say more than that? And we get a Nocturne lock. Nocturne is, in my opinion, probably one of the strongest OLS junglers you can choose, especially if the other team has some lower rank players on it. They will push up without realizing that Nocturne can ult them, and they will get picked off, and you just kind of get some freebies. Uh, I don't know if Enrique's team will fall prey to that too much. Uh, it is also quite team dependent on if there's someone to pick. I don't know if you're ever Nocturne ulting in on a Pantheon. You're definitely not ulting in on a Swain. I'd pray that you're not. And Katarina is also someone that's really hard to hold down, so we'll see if the Nocturne pick can pay off. Speaking of, they do pick Katarina mid, and then they ban out Twitch, which is one of the champions that Steven played. Uh, I would expect to see them probably ban out Lucian here, just because those are the two champions that they have seen him lock already at ADC. They could also put him mid, to be honest. They could kick Squishy or display name down to ADC. Um, Nigel bans out the Zillion. That's a good ass ban because let me tell you that Zillion champion is unbalanced. I might start playing Zillion just so I can up the play rate so they'll nerf him. That's how much I hate that champ. He has this annoying ass, obnoxious 99% slow, and then he also can boost his teammate by 99% or whatever the hell the number is. It's disgusting. They ban out the Vladimir. That's a good idea. You do not want to be giving Chansey. I mean, he used to be named Vlad King 1, right? That was his original first username when he joined the club. So his Vladimir is the real deal. Um, it's a good idea to take that away from him so that he does not start causing some severe issues. We'll see what this last ban is going to be. I'd expect to see another support. They banned the J4 actually. Yeah, that's probably a good ban. Depending on what your ADC is going to be here. If you're banning, I'm tired as hell, boys. I'm not gonna lie. If you're banning out J4, I assume that means you're not gonna try to pick Lucian, which is odd. I think you'd want to burn the ban on something else if your intent is to choose Lucian. So they pick Urgot. I feel like when I go and Google Urgot versus Cassante, Urgot's gonna be winning, but I think that's mostly just because I think every champion basically has a win percent, like a high win percent against Cassante. But that doesn't mean that it's a great lane necessarily. Let's see. Cassante counters u.gg. We pick Vex for mid, so that's gonna be a display name mid. Vex is a good ass champion, I think. I play some Vex every once in a while. All right. On the list of best picks versus Cassante, Urgot is about number 12. He's a 54% win rate against him last patch, but again, every single champion has a pretty high win rate against Cassante. There's like 8, 9 champions that have a lower than 50% against him, so we've seen ePimp beat the odds before. Now, I will say Urgot is sort of a hard champ to beat the odds against. It can be really, really annoying. And they lock in Ezreal. I've never in my life seen Chansey play Ezreal, and I'm a little bit excited to see it, to be quite frank. Good luck hitting a Katarina with Ezreal Qs, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. They close out the draft with a Lux, presumably support pick. I guess that actually could be a Swain support. Because I know David does actually play Swain. Interesting drafts though. So I'm gonna guess that they're gonna. I mean, they have to put Urgot top. They have to put Katarina mid. Um, it's probably a Swain Lux. I mean, it's got to be Swain Lux bot and then Pantheon jungle. The question is if the Swain or the Lux is gonna be the one taking farm. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. Um, if I had to guess, I'd say probably Swain is taking farm because that is a pretty normal thing. But yeah, I mean, so we can go through the lanes real quick. Saving the blitz, I see. Yeah, they decided to actually. Yeah, I mean, they didn't decide to pick it. Maybe that's why they chose the Ezreal here, is because it is pretty hard for Blitzcrank to get his hands on his little twink ass. But I mean, you already have a Thresh. Maybe that's the other reason why I didn't pick it, is because Thresh is pretty good in Blitzcrank, to my knowledge. I mean, you get hooked, you lantern him back, it's a reverse hook. You Uno reverse guard him, except Thresh has like 3 other abilities and Blitzcrank has 0, you know? So, going based on the matchups, top lane, Cassante versus Urgot. I'm pretty sure, I mean, that's Urgot favored like I was saying, but literally everything is favored into Cassante, I'm pretty sure. So, that one's going to be sort of a hard call. I would expect to see Urgot win it. However, you know, I mean, it's ePimp Cassante. This guy is a trend breaker. Okay, he's a special specimen. In the jungle, we have Nocturne versus Pantheon. I'll have to look at the stats on who wins that. I think Nocturne probably wins it. But I mean, Pantheon is a good champion. Going off of last patch. Stat checking. Okay, Nocturne has a negative win rate into Pantheon jungle. Pantheon jungle, yeah, so Nocturne wins 48.5% of the time on the last patch. against Pantheon. So he actually counterpicked himself here. The beauty of LLS though is that you don't necessarily have to play. I mean, okay, we're not playing Excel. Okay, right? It's not Factorio, bro. Uh, this is not EVE Online. The actual win rates mean nothing. What means something is how good you are at playing the picks. All right. I saw a Ramus top win in OLS a couple weeks ago. Anything can happen. Uh, I am a little bit scared. I'm a bit scared for our friend Nocturne here, though. I mean, he can spell shield the. He can spell shield 1Q or 1W. But I'm pretty sure Pantheon still shits on him in a 1v1. Maybe Nocturne can. Maybe he can stat check him if he gets ahead. But I think mostly you are just playing to farm up a Nocturne, hit 6, and then just dive bomb this Lux like crazy. Um, in the mid lane, we have Vex versus Katarina. I have a pretty strong feeling that Vex is winning that matchup. The thing is that it is I'm not 100% sure about display names Vex. Right, I've never seen him play it. I'm assuming he's competent, but he is not probably as competent as Shiny Trico is on Katarina because at the end of the day, this is one trick, right? Um, I'd imagine that is a pretty horrifyingly bad lane for Katarina, though. I don't know. Maybe it isn't that bad. Trying to think. I'm trying to think through it here for a second. Also, I'm trying to find the stats. Is U.GG even aware that Vex is a champion? Do people ever pick this? It literally is like just not on this tier list. That's because I was looking at Vex counters, not Katarina counters. Yeah, Katarina, yeah, is a 45% win. Yeah, Katarina wins 45% of the time against Vex. It's horrifying. Yo, what's up?
You want a co-caster?
Yeah, sure. Can you pull up the stream and make sure that you can hear yourself?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're welcome to CoCast. What's up?
Are you able to stream the game in Discord as well? Otherwise, I can't watch.
Oh no, I can't do that because the last time I tried that, it killed my stream started buffering like crazy.
If that's the case, then I probably cannot co-cast then.
Rip.
I wish you were.
Well, what are your thoughts on this draft?
Let me look at the stream. Give me a sec.
They counterpicked Katarina mid with Vex, and I'm pretty sure that's unplayable. Actually, the more I think, I don't know. I could see a world. I could see a world where Katarina can maybe outplay a Vex if the Vex screws up and throws out her fear cues, right? Like if she throws a fear cue, you can dodge it with Katarina and hit her, and she can't fear you back for like 15 seconds. But you do just get like a free 100 damage on her, so.
Yeah, I mean, last time we saw this matchup in OLS, the Vex completely dominated. It wasn't close. Katarina also, I think that's a Pantheon jungle, which Vex is pretty happy to go into, right? Because Pantheon's also going to jump in, and you can just
Oh, that's true,
stay
yeah.
there. I think Vex has a pretty nice. It's good against Urgot too, right? Urgot wants to eat forward.
Yeah.
I think Vex is a pretty strong pick. Pairs pretty well with Nocturne. Cassante is just Cassante. It is Urgot into Cassante. Urgot does have a bit of a favorable matchup, right? Because Cassante goes down to 50 HP with the ultimate.
Oh, that's true. I hadn't even considered that. So yeah, you're like halfway to the execute if you ever press the R button, huh?
Yeah, so that is why this is a counter pick. I know Boopo likes it a lot in the LCS. Um, Swain Lux, I mean,
Yeah, I mean Swain Lux,
Swain
they're just gonna AFK bot, I'm pretty sure, and just clear waves.
is
Swain, they
not
got
that
catch though.
bad, I think.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a little bit difficult for them to try to get in on a Vex Thresh, right? As Swain, you can't dodge a Vex Fear. can't really dodge anything when you're playing Swain, bro. Uh, I think they got some interesting catch potential. Um, no, he can't. They can't hear you. I guess
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
it's because I just don't know what the settings are for this stream setup. But the moral of the story is, oh,
More
and
story is, I think blue side won first. That is my memory of the story.
yeah, I'd probably tend to agree with that. It is it's a pretty solidly.
It's like live, because I can just maybe watch the total live stream and talk. Actually, no, they can't even hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can try to adjust it if you can get on to League, but I don't want to stream
No,
it because I don't want the stream to buffer. You know.
no, that's fine. Then I will just leave you to it. I mean, my opinion, blue side won draft. I think Swain Lux is kind of hard to play this game. Ezreal's pretty slippery. Nocturne and Vex want to be kind of far back in the team fight. You don't really get as much value from the Lux or the Swain. Maybe if Swain tops the ulti after Nocturne engage, if the target can survive the Nocturne engage, um, Swain can maybe put in some work, right?
Yeah.
But when you have Nocturne Vex, you're not really, that's possibly the only one you're not. There's nobody very tanky on this team. Urgot, it's more of a bruiser than anything.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty hard for them to get onto the Ezreal. Um, I mean, the only chance I could see, I could see a world in which Pantheon and Katarina can get pretty far ahead, just playing for each other, and then snowballing off of that. And I think that's the only realistic way you can catch an Ezreal. You know?
I think an interesting thing to note is the last time we saw this Vex Katarina matchup, it was actually display name on the Katarina against Ethan on the Vex. So it looks like he learned a little bit from there.
Oh, so he's flipping it on him.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I guess that is true actually. Display name is also a Katarina player. I forgot about that. Uh,
That's probably why they took it away. It is banned against him in most series. My personal opinion is Katarina is a useless champion in 5v5, so I would never pick it anyways. But
hey,
um,
it depends who's piloting it, you know.
in OLS, yeah, but in general, if both teams are even skill, I would say Katarina is a useless pick.
Well,
But
that's the beauty. That's the beauty of OLS, you know.
yeah,
Not everybody is equal skill. Yeah, we got some Fiesta games, all right. But yeah, I mean,
he's gonna ban Krusty Krab. Krusty Krab can definitely do a lot of work here in getting on Ezreal, right? The stun will go through even if Ezreal E's it, right? If he's able to get it off.
yeah,
Um, Katarina can follow, Urgot can follow with a long range ultimate. And if Ezreal dies, you don't really have that much consistent damage. And once Vex ults in, she's a little bit more susceptible to the Swain. I just don't like Lux here at all. I don't think Lux does a lot here, but
yeah. I mean, the Lux pick is a bit odd, but it, I mean, I think if they're trying to play for that catch bot lane to try to catch, I mean, primarily you're just trying to catch the Thresh because you can't really catch the Ezreal. But you know, if you hit a Swainy or if you hit a any slow, like if you hit a Lux E or if you hit a Lux Q off of the Lux E, or like a Swain E off of the Lux E, right? Because the slow makes it it makes it more realistic to hit. You should just be able to Mog a Thresh and just kill him, I think.
yeah,
Um,
I would love to get the ultimate.
and
One thing I will say though is I think this sort of Swain pick neutralizes Thresh a little bit because you never want to hook the Swain in, right? You want to try and get the Lux.
yeah,
So I want to see this Ezreal Thresh lane try to play a little aggressive in the early levels. I think if Ezreal gets a lead in this lane, Swain is pretty useless. But if Swain is able to keep it even, at the worst, it'll be a neutral lane.
yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Who's their AD carry? I don't. Is that? Oh, it's Theo King, and he is one of the stronger
It is
players in
Theo
the
King.
game, right?
Yeah.
So there is value in neutralizing the AD carry position like that. And Krusty Krab. If we're talking about differences in the players, Krusty Krab is very strong, and Nigel's strong in his own right, but I think Krusty Krab is considered far better as a jungler, so it'll be on the Pantheon to get things done this game.
Yeah.
And I think there is a favorable top matchup. Now, this E-Pimp guy, he's pretty solid on Cassante, so
Yeah, I don't know what to think about the top lane. Because if you go look at the win rates, Urgot does have like a 56% win rate against him, but also if you look at any win rate for Cassante, they're all inflated to like 55%. There's like 6 champs that are lower than 50% against Cassante. And I think that's just indicative of Cassante just being a absolute monster champion to balance into
yeah.
play. Um, I have
My
seen
thing is, I don't
E-Pimp
know
in the
how
top
good.
lane. E-Pimp in the top lane, his Cassante is actually pretty good.
And I don't know how good TDL on Urgot is. It's not really a TDL special, right?
Yeah,
We don't
it's
really
not like
know.
he's playing Shogath.
I think Cho'Gath would have been a nice pick here, actually. I think they didn't go for it because of the indexing into heavy AP, but um,
I have received information that Balling Kitten 43 in the 5 minute pause at the start of this game started a family and then got divorced already. That's impressive.
that's got to be some kind of
He
record.
speedrun that. Display name says he's about to sneak a bomb into his asshole. Rock, paper,
Uh,
scissors, mid for first blood.
can we get the OLS commissioner to investigate this unruly behavior within the pause?
Yeah, well, apparently
Nobody
Steven
can hear
is,
me, so it's fine.
apparently Chansey's finishing a Zoom call. He's finishing. He went to
Yeah.
university for couples therapy and saved their relationship. He reincarnated into a different world and started another family already. And then he died again. Yeah, I mean, that's rough, bro. Yeah, reports are saying that Shiny Trico has reincarnated into a different world, started an entire different family, then died. And we are still paused.
I think it's really going to come down to what this blue side can get done in the mid game. I want it, or in laning phase and into the mid game, right? Because, like we said, we assume Vex should win. We assume bot lane should win. Nocturne's going to just try to be farming. If he's able to outpath Krusty Krab, I want to see Nocturne take a lot of camps. And once we get those level 6 marks on the Nocturne Vex, I kind of want to see repeat dives on this immobile bot lane. And if they can just sort of balloon the lead there, they can probably try to take the game over. But if come 14 minutes, right, the game is about even. You don't really see a lot of big leads. I think red side can come out through the win. This Urgot should scale relatively well into the game. Uh,
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
think Pantheon is probably not that weak as well. I think Pantheon's actually just a pretty strong champ in general, but uh,
Yeah, I've
especially
been
Krusty
playing some
Krab
Pantheon
Pantheon.
too. It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Dude, during the break, I actually did order food, and it was delivered. And I might be able to eat this entire meal by the time this game starts. There's a non-zero chance.
Well, yeah, I'm stuck on the train station for another 20 minutes or so.
That's rough. Well, once you get back, if you want, I think I fixed the audio thing. But once you get back, if you want to hop in for game two, and then the game three when it comes, they're starting game two right now. They're playing them in tandem after this pause. Um,
That's what I see.
but yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to hop back in, you're welcome to.
All right. I bet you want just. All right. Yeah. I should. I was gonna say I could just help pass the time while the pause is there because I have nothing better to do.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
true.
if
Yeah.
people.
Let me bro, you can talk while I eat, bro. I'm not
Yeah.
doing
Can
some
they hear me now?
ASMR stream. All right, game started. Of course, bro. I gotta open my food, and we're straight into the game.
Does it say that? I don't see it here.
Yeah, it's
Oh, there it is. Yeah. There it
Well,
is.
I'm pretty sure we're just gonna have to sit here on a pause, on like a pause though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Should I restart this immediately?
I don't know. It's up to you, bro. Give us some stand up. Says your text.
I'm not doing stand up, alright? There's a reason I play League of Legends and I don't go running. I don't like standing. I hit him with a 15 sec. Oh, they didn't say R, so they paused it and then they unpause it again. Display name just finished. Good news. So it looks like the super spreaders are going to be running topside. They're going to do a cheese and or not an invade, but they're just going to try to play for the alcove. Let's see if TDL takes this bait. Taiwan Freedom Fighter. And they're just gonna show themselves, I think. I'm not sure if Urgot saw them there, but it seemed like he did.
Now they see. Now he sees.
Yeah. I'll do a quick 2x to get us back to normal speed.
Oh, I'm a little behind because I'm watching your stream.
Yeah, you might just have to
All right, yeah,
just
I'll just
do
dip out because nobody can hear me or anything, so I'll just watch the stream. Good luck.
yeah, fair enough. Thanks, Bells. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how this game goes. Nocturne's gonna start bot side, Pantheon's starting top. Got some poking going down in the mid lane, poking going down in the bot lane. Top lane, I'm pretty sure they're just staring at each other. Scoop hits an E. That's what, like +8 max HP or something like that? 15. So, report Sky Blue Dragon. That guy is feeding free HP to Scoop. If this guy lives by 15 HP at any point in this game, it's Sky Blue Dragon's fault. Let it be clear. He throws a hook, but it misses, and they're actually down level 2. And Sky Blue Dragon goes down. They pick him off. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we have a bit of a brawl going down between Display Name and Shiny Trico. They're both half health. Could be a hotspot for a jungler going forward, but an impressive bot lane pick right there. I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about. That's what they need to do to win this lane in the bot lane, you know? They got to hit those chain CCs onto Thresh and just kind of catch him off. That was also kind of crazy by him, even walking up right there without level 2. I think that he also just gave Slin another like 30 max HP, which is not ideal. Looks like Nocturne is going to try to take a gank topside into this Ignite Urgot. Display Name taking a huge trade on the Shiny Trico, putting him down to 150 health. The Pantheon is sort of lurking about in the shadows, trying to make sure that, trying to see if they can check out Display Name. We're not looking bot. I want to see mid. Krusty Krab walks into Ballin' Kitten 43. He flashes over the wall, but he gets feared immediately. And it looks like Krusty Krab is going down here. They can't get Shiny Trico because, okay, they might have been able to get him. They might have been able to get him right there if they were real quick with it. But a huge fear from the Display Name. And the bot lane, what the hell? Can we get instant replay on that, Jarvis? They hit everything onto Ezreal. But he's able to get out, and then Curse of Dragons just walks up and eats a turret shot. What the hell? Big play from the bot lane, I guess. You gotta watch out for those turrets, man. They'll get you. And they don't move either. You know where they're at, right? This is not a Warcraft 3 stream, alright? You cannot move your treants into the enemy base. It is not allowed. Yeah, I am the GOAT, number 0. You're right. This guy knows what he's talking about. Epimp is walking up here. I mean, the Urgot has 0 mana. Oh, Epimp gets baited in! He saw he had 0 mana, he said, I cannot resist. And Krusty Krab collects a free 300 gold. Some good baiting there from Urgot. We got a gank, showing up in this bot lane. Sky Blue Dragon goes down to 1 HP, but the Swain gets feared out, and Scoop flashes, but he doesn't get the auto attack. And Sky Blue Dragon lives to fight another day. There's two people there I think he could have auto attacked, and he didn't auto attack either of them. Display name fires a Vex ultimate that I think just flew through my window, I think. But it doesn't seem to matter because he's just going to beat Shiny Trico's ass. Shiny Trico is able to get away at the last second, though, so. And now Katarina has his ultimate. We'll see if he can get up to some funny business. Never mind. He got poked out by another Vex Q. This guy's not doing anything besides soaking XP and waiting for this Pantheon, which could be coming up. Shiny Trico, you are a psycho for that one, by the way. I sort of respected that. Display name barely. The Shiny Trico flashes in, flashes out. He's doing the hokey pokey. Display name, he's got some moves. He buys a couple seconds for his Nocturne, who's taking these grubs. He's able to get one grub and then he lets off. Impressive gameplay there from Bowling Kitten 43, because I'm not sure I've ever seen this guy not leave an objective for a kill. Because Lux has shown in the mid lane, they're going to start trying to go in on Scoop, but he's playing Swain, man. You can't walk into the E if you're going to try to run him down. And, 7 minutes into this game, it is a 50-50, 3-3 game. One grub has gone to the Super Spreaders, and Epimp insects this Urgot into his own turret. He might be able to get a kill here. He got the flash at least. Good heavens. Oh, Sky Blue Dragon with the big hook. That might actually be enough to kill Scoop. Lux comes in for the save, and holy shit. Curse of Dragons coming in with the Chris Kyle-esque Lux W to save him on 1 HP. Really nice hook from Sky Blue Dragon there, though. Yeah, Shiny Trico is pulling up. He's just swinging on this Vex. He's real smart with it, because if Vex ever tries to poke with her Fear version of her Q, I think there's a window for Katarina to go in. Scoop and Curse of Dragons are going to start aggressing here in the bot lane. We'll see if they can get something done. The Thresh hook goes wide. But Ezreal is dodging most of the damage. The issue is not really the Ezreal dying here, though. I think it's actually the Thresh. He's tanked too much. And Ezreal goes back in to try to save him, but Curse of Dragons is taking more turret shots. He does not give a shit, and it is all for nothing. Ezreal dies as well. Vex is trying to do something to the Swain, but he bit off a little bit more than he could chew right there. I don't know if Swain hit 6 off of that. Nocturne ult in the mid lane. They're not letting me take a break, man. Katarina is going to get away, because that champ is ridiculous, might I add. Damn, that could have been really big for Nocturne to get that pick there, but Katarina is so slippery, dude. It ends up being a win for the red side. Getting 2 kills in the bot lane for the price of 1. A BOGO. Ezreal eats another Lux Q. And he's in. Now, Scoop doesn't have an ult here. He might... he maybe could have gone a little harder there. I thought the Ian was a little bit suicidal there for a second, but and if Swain had ult, it absolutely was, but he didn't have ult, so it wasn't. Kind of crazy how that works, huh? Cooldowns are a hell of a drug. Red team takes the Mountain Drake, but a directed camera decided that we would rather watch Urgot hit Cassante. And we got an insect going on in the top lane. Can Cassante might go for the solo kill here. He does. So meanwhile in the bot lane they're having a bit of a tussle. Scoop has gone down to 1 HP and Ezreal claims the shutdown. So we're back to 6-6. Nocturne ult's down for another probably 30 seconds, but Shiny Trico he's smelling the blood in the water. Sky Blue Dragon misses his Q and he doesn't actually have enough mana for an E, so Katarina's gonna get her entire ult off. And Krusty Krab is on a killing spree. It's interesting to see, so the BLACKROCK Battle Bunnies have basically put all their eggs into 2 baskets. One is a Swain and the other is a Pantheon. Katarina has 0 kills, which If you are the super spreaders, that is exactly what you want to see, right? What you don't want to see is this Pantheon running in the mid lane and just killing the Vex again. Uh, it's a little bit rough to see. Um, yeah, I mean, you gotta trinket up, man. You gotta go press 4 on the bush. It'll do wonders. Chansey also has 2 boards stacked, by the way. Divine Boom. And actually, there's so many people. I don't know what's going on here. Alright, just go press 4, bro. They're free. But, you know, at the end of the day, what you want to see is Pantheon with 4 kills and Katarina with 0. I'd rather have that than the other way around, personally. At least you can deal with a Pantheon, man. You can fly him away, you can hook him when he jumps in. The fuck you doing into a Katarina with an item ahead of you, man? Lux is gonna start roaming mid again. I don't know if this Vex can handle another gank mid. That might be a mental snapper. The good news for the super spreaders, though, is that they were actually able to get all 3 grubs, despite the fact they got pushed off on them earlier. So they're threatening a 6 grubs here. I don't think they can actually get it. Ooh, Pantheon's running in onto this Vex, and the Vex is able to push him away with her W. The fear is pretty potent, but display name is just going to get ran down again, because Lux is there. E-Pimp is just having a fun time. He's like Battle Beast up here. He's just here to fight. And he's doing a little more than just fighting. Valiant Kitten 43 is able to pick up the kill with his ultimate. Now, there is a bit of an issue, though, because there's a raiding party coming in from the jungle, from that river. Valiant Kitten has no ultimate. He's got no W, I'm pretty sure. E-Pimp flashes, but he did it a little early. He didn't dodge the Lux Q. So he gets stuck in place. Ruined. Nigel was able to secure another grub, so that puts him to 4 grubs. That's really the break point you want. 6 is more just icing if you can get it. It looks like they're gonna threaten to die. Ball and kit. Oh no. I'm gonna pretend I ain't see that. That was a rough thing to watch. They read him like a book, man. And they ain't no Floyd Mayweather, alright? Shiny Trico is gonna try to do something. I mean, he's just picking up farm. He goes, dude, that's a cocky maneuver right there. I mean, I guess the Thresh did use his Q already, but and the name of the game really is just these Curse of Dragons roams. Now, he does miss a Q there, but he's not punished for it, so it's fine. These Curse of Dragons roams have been making it really difficult, and I think that the name, the thing that's really putting them ahead this game, the Battle Bunnies, is their willingness to just gank Vex mid like 8 times. And he doesn't seem to be learning his lesson. Nocturne's going to try to jump in on this Lux, and that could be a free kill. It is. So Display Name gets on the board with his first kill. They do have to burn the Vex R and the Nocturne R for it. And they're looking to reposition to try to get this Pantheon. They hit the Thresh Q, but I mean, the Katarina is just doing a full ulti, and they win that 3v3. And that is probably the worst case scenario if you're trying to keep this Katarina under wraps. It really looked like a nice engage there for a second. Where was the Ezreal? Can we get a quick replay? Where was Ezreal during that? Oh, he's pushing, he's recalling bot. He Ezreal ulted and then pushed away. So, a little bit rough. Sorry, I had to see where this guy was. I mean, you do need to farm on Ezreal, obviously, but that's a bit rough for Katarina to get a couple kills right there. Skyblue Dragon, I think he's just gonna get caught here. It is, I will say, it is quite difficult to play support when the enemy has a 6 kill Pantheon just like never on the map. He runs at the speed of light, and he will one-shot you. Especially when the Lux is just like his mini-me. So I think they're gonna take Dragon here. Ezreal is looking like gonna get caught in the mid lane. He might be able to put up a fight. He does flash out of the way, and if he can hit this Ezreal Q, nope. He does force the flash out from the Katarina though with his ult, so He burns a flash barrier to survive there, but at the end of the day, he survives, so you can't hate on him too much, you know. It's always interesting to see non-ADC players play ADC and try to do like insane shit like that, where they kind of step up and because they think they can take the damage, but bro, I mean, you're playing Ezreal. I guess you do have Triforce, so you're a little bit tankier than most, but that's a rough Q. Really close. Honestly, I thought that hit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, I mean, the supports are just having a skill shot miss off in the mid lane. I mean, it's a spell shield, bro. They read him like a book, though. They say there's no shot this guy is going to walk to safety, and they were 100% correct. Now, he does dodge the Lux Q, the Nocturne does. He might actually get out of this one. It's going to be really close. Can the Lux do something? Oh, that's tough because she actually got executed right there. I respect the play though. I think if he had spell shielded a little bit, if he was more patient with it. Krusty Krab kills Xavier on the Thresh, and it's looking like this is not going to go very well for the super spreaders. Katarina is just kind of ripping him apart. Pantheon one-shots the Thresh. That is a diabolical Pantheon ultimate, by the way. I gotta respect it a little bit. DL, yeah. Keep that one on the down low. That would have been pretty sick if it hit, though. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of gotta. Sometimes you see a play like that, you go, I mean, was it objectively a good play? Probably not. But it would have been super sick if it did hit. And you gotta weigh that in to the calculus of if am I gonna press R right now? Am I not gonna press R? You know. Yeah, but like it'd be super cool if I did. It's like hitting a kickflip, bro. I mean, Epimp is just kind of up here. He's invulnerable. It's two invulnerable people fighting each other, man. Thresh is picking up farm in the mid lane because Ezreal's not there. You know, line your pockets while you can, brother. Epimp is literally AFK. He's fucking DMing his kittens on Discord, I guess. Bomb Kitten 43 has set up a trap for Shiny Trico. He doesn't really have anywhere to jump, and I think they're gonna trap him. He is very, very patient with the Vex ult, which is, you know, vital for keeping the Katarina down there because she could have flashed away. Ezreal is trying to do something here in the mid lane, but brother, you are not playing Fiora. He does. Okay, well, he missed like 4 kills, so I think maybe he could have actually chunked out Scoop pretty significantly there if he had hit, but you know. Sometimes you hit your skill shots, sometimes you don't. It is also kind of hard to hit Ezreal Qs with someone who's like literally melee. Now, the Nocturne is going to jump onto this Lux here, and he's going to collect his 311 gold for free. And by free, I mean for his ultimate cooldown, that is, what, 66 seconds. That's illegal, by the way. I think he even has Axiom Arcanist. He does not have Axiom Arcanist. I kind of assumed that he would. But he does have Ultimate Hunter, so that's part of it. He's got Hexblade, too. The Hexblade is putting in some work. Display name's getting his ass ran down by Krusty Krab, but he showed him some mercy and just kind of decided to let him go. Vex just says, "Please, sir, may I have another?" And he didn't want to get away. I mean, I don't know why they're even showing us anything top. Riot Games, can you only show me the Cassante versus Urgot matchup if they are literally going to die? Ezreal is just getting ran down. He's away from the lantern, which is not ideal. Just click the lantern. It's like a Ezreal E, except you don't use a cooldown. I mean, Thresh does hit a hook, but Urgot's firing from downtown. Can they poke out Sky Blue Dragon to get him within Urgot range? Probably not. Answer is no, but they did scare him away, so he's recalling. Katarina is taking this bot turret, it looks like. I mean, at this point, you're praying Nocturne can 1v9. Or you're praying that Vex is able to take down this Katarina. Nocturne is able to get another ult to save the day, man. That was a really, really close fight in the bot lane. The Hexblade and the Ultimate Hunter are popping off. Epimp's getting ganked, but it's a Swain gank. He flashes the Swain E. Urgot has no ult. They actually do kill him here, so a lot of damage going on to the Cassandra there. Taking him out. Nigel's trying to take this dragon, but instead the enemy team takes his life. Tragic. Ezreal is going to try to do something here, but I don't know what you can really do when you have a Pantheon with like 8 kills in your face. He is going in on this Lux and takes her down to like 10 HP. Is that you, Nightshine? I don't know who just joined my Discord. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, what's up, dude? I can't hear you though if you're talking. Welcome back.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. I mean, I was just watching the game and I was like, yeah, that's a first.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough game for the super spreaders right now. But Urgot is getting the hands from Epimp in the top lane. Wait, Epimp's showing some signs of life. He said, I'm not going down with the, not going down silent. Epimp has that. I mean, he has solo killed this Urgot, I think, twice now. Maybe it wasn't a complete solo kill, but it might as well have been. Okay.
No, I saw a couple.
I think it was 2 solo kills, or if it wasn't 2 solo kills, then it was like an almost solo kill that was saved by a jungler or something like that.
One thing I do want to say is there are two things that have dictated the pace of this game. One of them is I think Sky Blue Dragon was actually pretty mobile on the map, but against Katarina and some of these other mobile champs, his hooks were kind of hard to land. So he wasn't as effective as the Lux that can just sort of throw stuff out and be useful, right? However, the main thing is if you notice in the middle of the game, there was always somebody hovering this Pantheon as he invaded the jungle. There was
we got a gank in the bot lane. Katarina's getting fleet out of her ultimate, but Pantheon's coming in to save the day. Katarina does go down, and I mean they might be able to. Okay, they take down the Vex. The question is, can Bowling Kitten 43 fight Krusty Krab's Pantheon? He blocks a Pantheon Q with his spell. Show me this fight. Okay, they both walk away. I mean, Pantheon does have 2 people hovering him, as you were saying, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah, he very rarely. You're absolutely correct. Actually, the more that I think about it, like, it is really hard as a player in OLS to not take a fight like that you think is going to be good as long as there's nobody around. If you can't see the people who are hovering him, right? Because it's not really something that you see a lot in solo queue. But
and it's not even just that. It's just that it seems like, well, for one thing, it looks like the early part of the game they
hold on, we got another tussle going on. A full-on 4v4. Swain gets kidnapped by Cassante, and he might have given him an escape, to be honest. Meanwhile, Urgot is just taking like an entire rotation from every champion on the other team. It doesn't even matter though. They kill Xavier on the Thresh, and Blinken comes in to kill the Urgot, but you might have needed to ult someone else. Display name goes into Zonia's, but it's only really to buy more time for his inevitable demise, and Blinken 43 goes down too, giving the BLACKROCK Battle Bunnies an ace. And that might be the nail in the coffin, I fear.
Yeah, I mean the ace in the hole here for the blue side draft was the Vex we were talking about. But as we got to the mid game, the Vex ended up being something like 0, 4, and 2. There was a lot of coordination from Curse of Dragons coming in with these ganks, and a lot of coordination from Krusty Krab as well. And while Shiny Chuko didn't get a lot of the early kills, the Vex the Nocturne Vex combo really depends on the strength of these 2 champions, right?
Yep.
Ended up missing. There was a lot of also Vex ults missed, and that's kind of the risk you take locking in champs like Thresh and Vex and Ezreal. You do have to hit the skill shots, right? And unfortunately, when Vex R does miss, it's not very strong. And this is what I was talking about, right? I mean, this comp, left side comp should thrive in the mid game. Xante did a really nice job, I think. Actually, there's a couple of like great flashes he had. It was outplaying Cassante, and I think that has to come with a knowledge of the matchup gap, because I think the Urgot assumed that he would just win at all points. But the thing about League of Legends matchups is, as you were mentioning earlier, with like the Katarina and the Vex, there are windows, right? And if you are good, you can see the windows to take the trade. and make a losing matchup winnable, which is what the Cassandra is able to do. Obviously it is a very strong champ. Looks like there's a fight going on.
Yeah, there's a bit of a fight going on, but I mean, Bowling Kid 43, they did get a pick on the Katarina, but I mean, Pantheon is just there always. It's sort of hard, I think, to play Nocturne into the Pantheon when the Pantheon is this ahead, right? Like, I think it just comes down to which of the two of them is more ahead or has more teammates around. I mean, Pantheon just jumps in here and yeah, I mean, he just presses E. It does like 500 damage to 3 people, and the Vex can't seem to space and to put out enough fears to really keep him at bay. Uh,
And another thing, the Vex doesn't have a lot of damage. One thing about Vex is it needs to really be ahead to be that threat. Excuse me, sir, it's the truth. So
I mean, or you have to build like I mean, he built Malignance into Zonias, which is like the Malignance is fine, but the Zonias is more of a defensive option, and I don't know if you can really afford to be the defensive option on this team right now, right? Like you have to kill that or you have to kill the Katarina before she is done being stunned, or you will die probably. I think you probably needed like maybe I don't know if you needed it, but maybe you would have had a little more success trying to burst her down if you went like Shadow Flame after the Malignance or something.
Good
I don't
evening,
know.
ladies and gentlemen. This is now your local train to Warminster, passing through all center city stations up to
Nightshine
and
is doxing
including
himself.
Warminster. Next station stop will be William Major Grade III, Philadelphia Station, where you also can connect to Amtrak, New Jersey.
Yeah, I think that might be the train for the super spreaders to leave the playoffs. I fear, um, or at least this first game. I mean, it's not looking great, but Ballin Kid 43 goes in and he's trying to steal that dragon, but he dead. And I think Swain is just unkillable right here. It can be really hard to kill a Swain when he's ahead. Pantheon hops into the back. E-Pimp has given his all, but his all is sadly not enough.
situations like this, I think the team should really just look to go to game two. Luckily, they will have Epimp Casante, which I think should be a great matchup. I want to see Ball and Kitten 43 not really on a Nocturne that is kind of easy to take down, and it's more of a bursty champ. I want to see him on something like a Wukong instead. I know
They
he is
banned it.
proficient in that champion.
They
I
banned
think.
it last time.
Oh, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty hard because they banned out his like more popular champions. Banned out his like more popular champions. Uh,
Point the team on. I think display name just has to be a little bit more wary of map rotations. Maybe that comes down to support communicating that, or maybe he needs to look at the map a little bit more. Because if Vex is able to go even in that lane, I think that game is actually a lot more different, right? We saw the Vex walk up a lot, trying to abuse that matchup, and she ended up paying the ultimate price for it. Dying a couple times in lane, and ended up being a weak point. Well, it should have been a pretty one-sided matchup, as we were seeing early in the lane trades. But
yeah, he fell victim
I
to
don't think
a lot of ganks because he was really trying to punish the Katarina, which when you have a Katarina under a turret with like 300 HP, it is sort of hard to just step back and be like, I'm gonna wait for backup, or just let her go. But
I
you
would have
know,
liked to see the Vex use the lane pressure to move a little bit instead of trying to keep the Katarina there. Obviously,
yeah, I mean,
Katarina
he
has
could
a
have
lot
done
of
that for
dashes and
sure.
movements. He had lane prio a lot. He could have invaded with Nocturne in the early levels, like we saw um, Pantheon doing in the mid game, and really sort of put this Pantheon behind. But I think if I'm have a takeaway from that game, the point of attack should not really be to neutralize bot lane, maybe, but to really neutralize Enrique. Obviously, Curse of Dragons was very strong on his own, but I think Enrique was the main engine here for the team. And even if that means Nigel picks something like, let's say, like I said, I don't think he's comfortable with this type of play style, like I said, Sejuani or like a Maokai, and you just play to neutralize the enemy ganks, I think you can scale into a much better chance of winning the game.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I feel like it is sort of a hard position for Nigel to be in because if I'm Nigel, I definitely am feeling like I have to carry these games, right? I at least have to be half.
True, he is on the carry
Like
position.
I gotta
Well,
be half
if
or
that's
a
the
third
case,
of the carry, right? And if I'm playing Maokai or if I'm playing
Good evening, ladies
Sejuani,
and
that's
gentlemen.
quite
This is
hard.
now your local trainer, Warminster, making all local stops through Center City up to.
Yeah, I think that might be the last call for the tickets to being out of playoffs for the super spreaders. I mean, yeah,
I don't know.
it's pretty hard. I
My
think
philosophy
you.
in games like this is that if you're in it, don't give up until you're out. All right, let's try to see them force a game through.
Oh
They
yeah,
do
no,
get sideswiped.
they could definitely because they were alive there for a while. It wasn't until display name got caught a couple times in the mid lane where it all started sort of unraveling after Enrique's Pantheon picked up a couple kills. I mean, to be clear, he wasn't the only one getting caught, right? Epimp did get caught once or twice in the top lane to the Pantheon as well, getting baited by the Urgot. I mean, Nigel did walk like directly into three people just like sitting on his tri brush, right? So like there are. It's not like Vex is the only one getting caught, but I would say she was the start of the snowball, right? I think that if you are going to win this game, you're gonna win this series. I think you have to put Chansey on Twitch again, or if the Twitch is banned again, you have to have him on a hyper carry.
You know what I think the other
Ezreal
option
was
is?
not cutting it. What?
I think the other option is you actually move Squishy into the bot lane. I think Squishy does play Hwei 80 carry, which is pretty good at sort of 1v2ing these lanes as long as he's able to move a little well with the fear and the poke. And I think you want to put Chansey, or I don't call him, just Angela in the mid lane. He does seem proficient to the role swap, so I wouldn't be surprised if he has something to play mid lane. But I think part of the reason why the game fell apart, as you said, is mid fell behind, and that sort of gives when a mid is behind, that sort of gives the jungler a lot more free reign, right? But if Nigel is able to have a lane that's even or even winning, then I think Nigel will be able to shine a little bit more in these games and bring out that carry potential we were talking about.
Yeah, we'll see. It is definitely the Enrique's team is a tricky one to try to figure out. I mean, the thing is you don't. So if you're gonna put somebody bot lane, you can't put them bot lane with the intention of being okay in a 1v2 because Curse of Dragons will never 1v2 you. That guy's gonna leave. You can go for milk, and you'll never see him again in the bot lane. I think that's why you need Chansey on a scaling ADC. Because if Chansey in the bot lane, if he's on Jinx and he's playing into a Swain or into a Hwei or into a Mel or whatever, uh, oh, we swapped Biddles for a real plat player. He said, "Oh, that's
I'm
tough."
gonna go for a bit because I'm gonna lose connection and I'll be back.
Okay. Hey, Krusty Krab said, "What?" This is some crazy ass banter, by the way. Uh oh. Uh, yeah. I mean, I think you have to put Chansey on a. You gotta put him on an AEC that will scale. You gotta put him on Jinx. I mean, even a Lucian would be okay. Brother, I'm bronze rank. Are you bronze rank? He's literally bronze. Quite literally. I'll get to the bottom of this, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what rank this guy is. Question, I need to find someone who he's played with is the thing, so that I can click his name and then I don't have to type in. Has he played with Scoop? What's his picture? It's Akshan. Sky has indeed. He is indeed bronze 1. He was silver 3 last split. Mm, he didn't play too many games, but he did play a decent number of them. I don't know. I was told that the subs would be adjusted depending on their OLS gameplay. And I've seen TDL play, and his gameplay has not been silver level in other games. Not saying the sub is unfair, because if he's subbing in for plat, then it probably is pretty fair. But let's get the draft wall going. Then I gotta fix these numbers. Triple B is up 1 point. But yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 ways you could probably tackle it. You could put display name on the bot lane, throw him in the bot lane, um, and have him hold down the fort. And maybe you can put Chansey mid and put him on his Auction. Put him on something that is relatively aggressive and that can move a bit more. You could also put him on something that's more scaling in the bot lane, Chansey. If you put Chansey on a scaling pick in the bot lane and just let him sit down there and then try to play damage control everywhere else, I think you could do that too. Also, yeah, this guy, I mean, TDL is Platinum Flex. He does have a negative win rate, but he also does play with Rags to Boss, so I'm not sure it's really his fault. Inconclusive. That guy is like a diamond level player, so. I will be right back in just 1 second. I'm gonna grab a drink and freaking scarf down some food before this draft starts. Alright, I got halfway through a piece of bread, bro. But draft is underway. Ban out the Fiora. Ban out the Zed. I mean, these are standard. I'm pretty sure these are the exact same bans. Alright, so bans are all in. Triple B has banned Fiora, Wukong, Rengar, same three bans. I'm expecting the same three as well from um, the super spreaders. Oh, they banned the Blitzcrank. So they swap it up a little bit. They say if you want to play Karthus, go for it. Nah, I don't know if that's a good idea for the longevity of their team, but maybe maybe Nigel has got something cooked up to counter the Karthus. Chris Dragon said you would ban an 18 points player? Not even worth a gold player. Seems like a waste. David, I've known you too long to not know what your blitz can do. That's true. His blitz is a borderline war criminal. So they first pick Lilia. Now, I'm not going to cap. I don't think Bowling Kitten. Oh, never mind. That's Lilia. Okay. It's Lilia for Enrique. That makes a little bit more sense. I'm about to say, dude, that guy does not play Lilia. They picked Cassante again. Yeah, kind of legit. We saw what it was doing last game. They're taking their sweet time picking, but you know, that's the what's afforded to them. They pick Rakan. They get the Xavier Rakan. Is that Nightshine?
So.
Yeah, what's good?
Looks like it's going to be the Lilia for blue side.
Yeah, they pick Lilia and Poppy. I thought I saw Curse of Dragons of the Poppy game in his match history. Could be wrong on that though.
It is a good pick into Cassante Rakan. I think Poppy's actually pretty strong there. It's a flex pick.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it does also go pretty well with the Curse of Dragons MO of just like perma. So you sort of can't hit it too much. They lock in Kaisa.
Twitch already looks pretty
Yeah,
alright here.
yeah. I think Twitch is a play here. It is a little bit unfun into Poppy, because Poppy will just run you down and run you into a wall. But you can prevent it a little bit. I did think if they're gonna play it, they need to pick it right here though. They pick Mel. Nightshine and Tunnel. Are you in a tunnel, Nightshine?
This South Temple University.
Oh, he's in a bus. It sounds like.
Yeah, I am in the bus. Sorry.
No, you're good. Let's see what these bands are gonna look like. This is where the nitty gritty comes in. All right, they could pick anything right here. They could ban anything. They ban the Yone. I don't know who you're banning Yone for. Also interesting to pick Lilia first overall when you do have Karthus open. Good old Septa. They banned the Twitch. Chansey might regret not picking it here. I fear. They might pick. I mean, Chansey might play Zaya here. They banned Malzahar. What? I mean, Malzahar is a. I've played many a Malzahar game this split, and it is actually pretty hard to play Mel into Malzahar. But I don't know if it's that hard, bro. I don't think. I mean, maybe Yusuf has played a Malzahar game actually. The more I think about it, maybe he has actually locked it. It's just not the shiny Trico like typical champion, you know. They banned Lucian. Yeah, that's the other chance he ADC. So maybe he picks Xayah here. I actually think Xayah would be a pretty nice pick into Poppy. But I think it's more likely that they are going to put Chansey mid and play Mel ADC this game.
Yeah,
Oh, they
I
play.
think
Okay,
that
yeah, they pick
is.
up the Vladimir. They let the Vladimir through, so um, they need a heavy AD threat in the jungle.
Nigel is known for AD junglers, right?
Yeah,
So
it's all he
I think that is
plays.
the best course of action. What they're doing here.
I don't
Mel,
think you can play Kayn here because of the Poppy, and I think Kayn gets dookied on by Lilia. I know Olaf is a champion he has played before, but I think it's also not great here yet, at least. I picked Kassadin. That's a little scary.
I'm trying to think of like 80 nice 80 junglers.
Darius.
I wouldn't
Oh, they
even
could
mind.
play Darius actually. Darius would be kind of sick.
I think Darius just gets kited. No, it's Lilia, and
I mean,
I guess it's
so
a,
Darius was last patch. Darius was the #1 counter for Lilia.
oh,
Now, to be clear, that was also like the OP Darius. He's been nerfed a bit now, but I don't know what the hell his Lee Sin pick is, man. I mean, that could be a Lilia top, I guess, but
it could be Lee Sin top actually.
yeah, I mean, it could be that too. It's a bit of a
Wait, no,
fiesta.
no, no. It's probably
I mean, it could be
yeah, it's
Lee.
probably Lee
Yeah,
Sin.
yeah. There's the Darius.
I don't know.
Darius is a
Yeah,
pretty good pick here, I think. I want to say Darius is good into Lee Sin as well.
yeah. I guess I don't know ball then about the Lilian matchup, but into the rest of them, I think Darius is great. Yes. Also puts a lot of pressure onto this Cassidon, right?
Yeah, it does. I don't know. Have you seen the Darius jungle tech in action? Have you seen this like horrific champion?
No, I haven't. So
Um,
that's why
okay, yeah,
I don't know the.
Darius jungle is also very good in Lee Sin statistically. He has a 55% win rate in him last patch. So Darius jungle is disgusting right now. What they do is they take Darius jungle and they build Swifties and they build Ghostblade first item usually. And you just run around at 440 base movement speed, and essentially just one shot like camps because of his bleed has like a 250 damage amp or some shit into
Jungle
like creep
camps.
camps. Yeah. Now they did nerf it like literally today. Um, I'm checking to see. Oh shit! I couldn't get it in time. They did nerf hemorrhage into jungle camps.
So what I'm hearing is Paul's team is winning OLS.
Yeah, they could.
That's, that's what I'm hearing.
I mean, they nerfed the Darius pretty hard. Yeah, they bumped his damage modifier from his passive for monsters from 300% to 200%. So it actually hits his clear speed. Um, I think his clear speed now is about regular. Um, it's like a standard jungle clear. Um, it used to be insanely fast. Like his clear speed was like instant pretty much. But the thing is, like since you build so much move speed so early, and I think you take the move speed jungle pet as well, you end up being really really sticky, and you can essentially take like grubs. You can never take grubs from Darius because he hits his Q on the 3 grubs and heals for like 80% of his missing health or something insane.
And heals all.
Yeah, yeah, he heals it all. So he ends up being a really big threat, and he can move really, really fast, um, while still having like all the Darius shit. You know,
And
I
in
think.
general, into this comp, right? They are pretty short range. My only question is who locks down Lilia? There's not really any point in Flick CC to
Darius,
deal with
Darius
Lilia.
E. That's about it.
Oh
Or
right, you said
Khan
it's a
maybe.
counter, right? Because you can E her probably and slow her down.
Yeah, I think if you're like not in combat, Darius outruns Lilia. And honestly, even when you're in combat, Darius might still have a move speed advantage with the crazy ass build that they're putting on that guy. But it looks like it's gonna be the Lee Sin jungle. Now Darius also shits on Lee Sin jungle. I think it's just a different reason though. I think it's mostly so
Which
in my head. I think the reason is that Lee Sin can't really like fight Darius.
wait, so
So
is Lily at the top?
yeah, I think so. Starting to
Oh,
look like it.
I, I guess it's good into Cassante, right? It's hard for Cassante to fight back, but I wouldn't think it's that bad for him.
Yeah, I don't think that's too bad for Lilia. I mean, but again, it's so hard with Cassante, bro. That champ is just a actual circus.
I
I'll
like
try
Red
to.
Side come up again. I guess there also is the question of Kasayadin.
Next up, rock transportation.
Yeah, Kassadin is pretty scary. The good news is, Kassadin is a scary ass champion to play into, but you also do have the Vladimir. So it's not like it once you start losing that it's like gonna be super hopeless. For either team, because you can always just try to bank and be like, my Kassadin will pop off or my Vladimir will pop off. Um, I do think that Vladimir is better into Lee Sin Lilia Poppy than Kassadin is into Meldarius.
Yeah. However, like the carries are of all AP. If this Darius doesn't get ahead, Caston is going to be very, very happy in this game. So
Yeah,
I I think Rakan's
that's
job
the thing.
is
Darius will. He pretty much always gets ahead in the jungle.
yeah.
He's really hard to stop. You can't really contest him for any neutral objectives. You can't really invade him because he'll just kill you. Um, So maybe he's the perfect counter for the dare, for what we've been seeing from Curse of Dragons in the gang.
Oh well,
We'll see.
dope season, bro. I mean, all I'm gonna say is, Red Side has 3 Noxus champs. Blue Side doesn't have any.
That's true. They have 3 Conquer synergy. All they really need is like a maybe they have like a Conquer emblem for Cassante, and then they'll have 4 Conquer, and then every time that they get some kills, they'll get some like extra loot, and they'll get a little bit stronger. But
And Mel is a
there's
6 cost
no
unit. You know,
yeah.
Mel is a 6 unit.
That's true, actually. Maybe I think if Mel ults like 6 times, or 8 times this game, when they lose, they have to play a game 3.
Yeah,
They, I think they activate the safety barrier for being at 1 HP, and then
yeah, exactly.
I think they should get like a 1v1 at the end just to, you know, try to stay in it.
Or maybe they won't need it.
That's true.
Maybe
Maybe they too
Conqueror
low.
is just
Maybe
too
they
broken
2-0
with
from
stuff.
here on out. We'll see. Yeah, 4 Conquer is quite strong this early, especially against a board with no traits. So
Yeah, it's only stage 2.
it's facts. All right, I'm gonna try to eat real quick.
I think
I'll be back in a minute and a half if you want to entertain the stream.
sure. I mean, let's just go through matchup, right? TDL was put in winning matchup last game, and I think he still got outlaned.
This stop
I don't
for
know.
rock transportation seconds.
I don't know how much faith I have in TDL to use this Lilia pick to its full potential against the Cassante. I think ePimp is going to be just fine. And what's nice about ePimp's ultimate is it is, you want to say it's point and click, right? Cassante ultimate. So you can sort of lock down the Lilia that way, and you have a lot of dashes to catch up. So I think Cassante is going to be just fine. Kaisa Poppy, Poppy does kind of want to run into you, and you're playing Mel Rakan. So as long as Xavier here, the Sky Blue Dragon guy, does not get caught by Poppy, should be okay. But Poppy also does neutralize anything the Rakan can do. So, you know, it's not going to be a lot of action there. But I think the Mel is going to be pretty happy with just laying safely.
Next stop, Melrose Park. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your local train in Warminster, making all local stops. Thank you for riding with Stepdad.
And then Vladimir here, Kassadin. I would assume Kassadin wins because Kassadin kind of wants you to do nothing, and Vladimir is a mage, right? AP, and Kassadin should scale pretty well into Mel and Mel and Vladimir actually, but Vladimir's also no slouch, right? Pretty scaling threat. If Vladimir wins the lane, should be pretty good. And looks like we are into the game. Finally, a jungle matchup. I'm not very familiar with the Darius pick, but I'm going to trust Nunir here and assume it's a nice 5 pick. I do think it is probably pretty good into Keston. You can probably catch him after his ultimate with the E, right? Get some damage down. Can probably fight the Lee Sin pretty easily. Probably fight the Lilias pretty easily. Yeah. Sure. Should be it. I want to see Red Side push the series to game 3. They actually are the team that played a role in eliminating our playoff chances. So our team looks a little bit better if they're able to win out here. And yeah, let's try to get a good game. Looks like it is just going to be a 5-point here with Rakan covering the Darius. Both teams probably wary of a jungle invade. And actually, it looks like Cassante is going to be lane swapped into the mid lane here. I don't know how I feel about that, but he does have a little bit more interaction with the Cassidon and probably maybe can pressure the Cassidon a little bit more. But the thing is,
that Rose Park.
Cassante really thrives in long lanes to use his dashes to either chase or run away, right? In his mid lane, I don't think he's going to be able to accomplish much here. And looks like we're getting into laning here. Caston is bullied off of the CS there. Epim trying to put the pressure on. Don't expect to see much fighting in the bot lane. I want to see what Angela can do on the Vladimir here because
Next stop, Elkins Park.
based on the rank disparity, we do see the advantage going to the red side. So I expect this Vladimir to be very ahead, which is great for the game. Christian Dragons here trying to get some early pressure on, knocks the Rakan back, but not really much going to come of that there. Mel's trading back pretty good for level 1 and level 2. Vladimir does get the early damage onto Lilia. See Lilia farming pretty well there. Can't really say much of his early game. Darius is going to finish his clear a bit faster than Lee Sin, as we said.
All right, I'm back.
Playing towards the spot side. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, this is the Darius clear. It's actually so fast. I mean, you can see like he started the blue buff before Lee is even hitting his camp.
Next stop, Elkins Park.
I think he'll finish around like 325, and Lee's gonna be stuck down here for a bit. To be fair, the Krug is a little bit more HP. Or less HP than the blue buff. Yeah, so I guess they are about the same. A little bit of a clear
Yeah,
speed
I mean, I was gonna
to
say, like,
Darius.
jungle, like 243, 245, you finish your full side. It's not that crazy. Looks like they're going to be about even, and looks like they're both going to be looking for the.
We got an
bot lane
engage on a
here.
display name. He flashes away and is able to read everybody, so he's not gonna go down. But he does have to burn his flash, which is a little bit sad. I think that if Darius is a little bit patient and holds his E to either catch the Lee Sin when he uses his Q or when he uses his W to get out, he can catch him. But if he continues to, if he just like waits for Lee Sin to hit his Q and go in and deal the damage, and then, oh, we got a solo bolo in the top lane. That's that Vladimir, man, dude. The Vlad King 1 is back. Sabu Dragon is gonna go in on Curse of Dragons to initiate this fight, and Balling Kitten's here. He is just beating Poppy's ass. Balling Kitten 43 is slaying Curse of Dragons in the bot lane. All 18 points go into Darius's pocket right there, dude.
Yeah, I'm a little bit delayed here on the stream, so I'll just wait for it to finish before I make a comment.
Yeah. He almost the Darius almost screwed it up a little bit by giving Poppy an out, but she ended up just getting melted because Darius does like 30 trillion damage. And he gets a dagger on his first back, which is lethal. Some would say.
Yeah, it looks like the game is 0-2 for you as well, right? I just want to make sure I'm not behind.
Yeah, it's 0-2. We're 5, 09, 10, 11.
Yeah, I'm about like 20 seconds behind, so I'll just comment. I can do the color, and you can do the.
Yeah, that works
you
for
can
me.
do the color and yeah. But yeah, I like the Cassante lane swap actually.
Oh, we
Ethan has
gotta
been
engage
pinging.
onto the Darius here. Curse of Dragons is heckling him in the jungle, and Ballin' Kitten 43 might be able to get away here. Nope, he can't because Lee Sin hits a flash E. I believe that that was a ping from Ballin' Kitten 43. It doesn't actually say because it wasn't one of the real ones, but I think he might have been pinging Mr. E Pimp there for not coming to help him. A little bit rough. I know he's bitching in team chat right now. Dude, I need some help over here, man. I'm getting ran down by this poppy. How is he even there? I don't know, bro.
Yeah, and that's what we were worried about, right? This is what Curse of Dragons is very good at, just roaming with the jungler, and that is the game plan.
Yeah, that guy is an actual support terrorist.
Yep. Game is still okay for
I
red team
think
though. They
Ballin'
do have
Kitten
a
just
gold
got
lead.
his. I think he just got a wolf taken, and I mean, yeah, he's just getting ran. Okay, yeah. No, that was a blue team ping right there on the recon. It's hard because you can't really have recon just like stand with Darius, but you almost have to. Lee Sin just takes that Krug in broad daylight. That's a little rough. I mean, the Vladimir is amassing a bit of a lead in the top lane, but the question is how much is it really going to matter when, if everybody else on his team is behind and the guys he has to carry against are equally as fed or more,
Yeah.
The other thing too is like
That
the
is,
Kassadin is equal. Yeah, about to say the Kassadin's equal in farm with him. He doesn't have the kill that the Vladimir got, but
I don't like this Murktrez rush into Cassidy. I really don't. I think you should. Uh, I mean, I guess you do go like something like Iceborne early on Cassante, right? You don't really go damage, but
yeah. I mean, we just
yeah.
have another outnumbered fight here in the jungle, but I think Sky Blue Dragon is maybe able to save Ballin' Kitten. Nope, Ballin' Kitten he uses E a little bit early on Darius, and so he's actually not able to save himself, which is rough. E-Pimp during that entire fight was just beating Kassadin's ass in the mid lane. Unfortunately for E-Pimp, it is a Kassadin, so he just kind of walks away. We have a little bit of a tussle here in the mid lane, but it's not really too much of anything, and I think it's mostly just a matter of we're not rotating. I
If
mean,
I'm Darius this game, I'm spamming FF personally. I don't want to play
I'm
anymore.
pinging somebody. Cause it's not like he can just farm it out. Vladimir
And
is
that's just
going to
another
get
thing.
ran
I
down.
mean,
He's kicked into the tower. He does dodge the tower shot, and he's gonna kite it out in order to get his heal. He might be able to get Krusty Krab here. He does, and he actually. No, never mind. They don't get the trait. I thought they maybe got the feat there, but they didn't. But he does get the kill on Elisa, and he gets a shutdown. So pretty good stuff from the Vladimir there. A sign of life from the super spreaders. Vladimir does have his first item here. He's got a cosmic drive, so.
that is what you want to see, right? This is your ray of hope in a game like this.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it would be pretty bleak if he
And
didn't
also,
have this.
Mel is doing pretty well. Cassante is going to scale. It's going to not be able to stop the cast and scaling, but Mel is doing pretty well. Your carries are doing pretty nicely here. And, overall, I mean, Darius did get. It's just going to come down to how many more times Darius is going to get run down like a dog in his jungle,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you ain't wrong. And they got to throw down some wards, dude. Also, how long would you like to bet that it will take for Kassadin to drop his first stealth ward? Because he has had two in his inventory for the entire game. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Vladimir gets a kill on Aurelia. I got taunted by these by the fact that this Kassadin hasn't pressed the 4 button.
I think this casting is not really doing a lot of moving outside of lane. This guy
I mean,
seems
that's
pretty
true, but
comfortable.
I mean, damn, man,
Probably that.
you could at least do it. We got a little bit
I
of
don't
a
know,
tussle
maybe
here.
that's some-
Skyblue Dragon and Ballin' Kitten are fighting the Cursed Dragon's Krusty Krab Terror Sect. Lee Sin does go in on Darius, and he flashes away because I think he was scared of the kick. Unfortunately, he's just eating like they're eating every Lee Sin Q known to man. Display name finally comes to assist his jungler, and they might be able to stop him here. Nope, they can't. Cursed Dragons might be dying here. He dies to the Vladimir. The Vladimir funnel is in full effect. Krusty Krab is able to hit a Q on an E-Pimp. He might be able to get out. Nope. But Vladimir runs down Krusty Krab and kills him. So, we've got several flashes going here. Mel flashes into Scoop on the Kaisa, who flashes away from the root. And Vladimir picks up another, what, 2 kills? Vlad is 5-1. All according to plan?
It comes down to those rotates, man. We see
Yeah.
Vladimir dropping some top waves because he really doesn't need it, and suddenly it all comes down to these man.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's even...
You know, Lee Sin did find, I think, a pretty good pick in general, but don't really often see that. Sorry, what's that?
Oh, you're just going through a tunnel. You're like cutting in and
okay.
out. So I was trying not to talk over you. I was saying that it was
No, I'm good.
I was saying it was interesting that Vladimir was able to come to that fight despite not having TP. He actually took Ignite, which is a little bit psychotic, but I guess if he was planning on playing mid, it sort of makes sense.
I think he has to take Ignite, to be honest, because he wants to guarantee he has a lead, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it was a good play. I was saying like it's good to see him be able to make it to that fight without the TP. That's what I mean. He does tank the Lily ult there. I mean, and the Ignite. Meanwhile, they bleed out a dragon. So Cloud Drake goes to the BLACKROCK Battle Bunnies.
I do like to see Angela on one of his like signature picks, right? Because a lot of times we've been seeing this guy pull out stuff that he's not really known for, but you know, this is one of the strong picks he was known for. He made a name for himself here in OLS.
Yeah, I mean he's just getting put on an island up here. Meanwhile, so while their top laner was being dove and killed, Curse of Dragons and Lee Sin were sitting in a bush in the bot lane waiting for this Darius to walk his Gromp that they had just taken. And then they did dive the Mel and kill her, so they get a kill. But I don't know if you. I mean, that's a kill on Lee Sin for a kill on Vladimir, bro. Not a great trade in my eyes. I think Vlad might actually just take this entire turret. Lily is just giving up trying to play in the top lane, and he's gonna try to run mid.
Is even, right? But Vladimir is like extremely accelerated.
Yeah. Yeah, if your plan is to he's actually not gonna stay for this turret. That's the new Chansey right there. Old Chansey would have stayed for that, and he would have took another wave after. I'm proud of him actually. I can't remember the amount of times in when I used to play with him in his first OLS split that I would like look top and he'd be playing like Tristan or something, and they would have a Nocturne on their team, and I'd be like, buddy, you can't take that wave, you'll get killed by Nocturne. And he'll go, no, I could get this one, and then I just hear Darkness and my ally was been slain. So to see him kind of back off from a greedy play, that's some character development. Speaking of character development, we're developing a 3v3 in the top lane. Vladimir is looking like he might be able to get out in time. No, he doesn't actually get the heal off, so he goes down. Vladimir said, what the fuck is that, Fat Finger? He must have flashed into enemies or something. Oh no, maybe he ignited. I don't know. Poppy separates Darius from his team, and goodbye. This is the downside to playing the jungle variant of Darius, which is that he has Yomu's Ghostblade, bro. He just got Yomu's Ghostblade at 14.5 minutes. He is not tanky. He's not the Darius that everyone hates in the top lane, where he's like built like a shit brick house, and he's invulnerable to damage and heals his whole health bar. He is just an assassin, essentially. Scoop is coming in for a solo kill here, but oh, he actually baits out the Mel. I thought for sure that was about to kill him. I mean, yeah, we just got a tussle in the bot lane. Scoop is forced to burn his barrier to survive. A good play from display name. E-Pimp,
Yeah,
E-Pimp might actually be favored in the top lane now. I mean, with how low in farm this Lilia is. And the fact Cassante has like
Yeah, I mean,
75 magic resist right now.
I would have to agree with you there. I mean, I'm just getting to that trade right now, and Casante's like just running at her and doing half her HP, or
Yeah,
like
I
maybe
mean
a third is more accurate.
he just takes no damage, despite the fact that that champ's supposed to do percent max health.
The other team
I
that
guess
I'm
it
getting to
does.
see,
In hindsight, it does make sense to do
100.
the tenacity boots if you're planning on sidelining versus either Cassidin or Liliana, or not Liana, Lilia.
yeah, the
And in
game's
the, and
about
with
even at this
yeah.
stage, which is a lot better than it was last time.
Oh,
And Vlad
absolutely.
is looking pretty happy here.
Yeah, I think
I,
Darius being underfed is a very scary prospect. The good news is if they decide to like forget and not kill Darius quickly, he should still be able to like dunk people in team fights. You know, that part of his kit will never go away. It's mostly just like if he can stay in the fight long enough to be able to dunk people.
and what's nice about Mel here is this Mel pick outranges a lot of what the enemy is dealing with, right? So Mel should be pretty happy this game. Vlad should be pretty happy this game. As
Oh,
long
Solo
as
Bolo! Good heavens! This play name Solo kills Scoop in the bot lane. That champ is crazy. Me when I'm trying to damage a champion that just shoots me back, bro? What? That's
that is
pretty
a nice
rough.
that is a nice look for the um,
Yeah, for the
display
super
name here
spreaders,
after a bit
bro.
of
I
a
mean,
rough game.
yeah, that's the second time. I mean, the first time Kaisa barely got away from her barrier, and that time she's not able to do that.
Yeah, I think once Mel gets to the second item, she's going to start becoming a real threat that they have to worry about. And this is, I mean, like bar the Darius being very behind. This is what red team wanted.
Yeah. Good news is Kassadin has at least dropped one trinket ward. I think he's done two.
I just got to the point where red also gets the Drake, so they are slowing down the Drake take, which is going to make the game go longer, which I
This stop
think
Rockland.
they want. But I'm just not confident on how strong Kassadin will be into this game, right? There's a Fed Vlad. I don't know if that can sort of counteract what the Kassadin's got going on, but
Yeah, I think that Vladimir beats Kassadin late game, but it's really hard to tell. I'm honestly not sure.
right.
It might just be a full-on skill matchup. Kassadin does have a Rod of Ages, which is pretty nice for him. Obviously Vladimir can't really get that. And I guess he could buy it, but it'd be a little troll. Um,
I think
Vladimir,
another angle that they have is I think maybe Cassandra can like kidnap the Kassadin in the team fights. Vlad can like 1v4, and then it's just Kassadin, which is a lot more manageable than the rest of the team, right?
yeah,
I don't know if that's
I
Vlad
don't
or
know if you
Sen.
could do that. Just because you need the CC to hold down the Kassadin. I think you need like a Mel route or like a Darius pull or a Charm would be good too.
For some reason, I do see an armor item built in Darius's inventory. I'm not sure why that is,
He's
but
building Dead
I guess
Man's
for the Lee
Plate
Sin.
for the move speed.
Ah, I see.
I don't think that's a good play, but that is a build. That's the build. You build Yomu's and then you build Dead Man's Plate so that you move at like Mach 11 and then you break the sound barrier and run up to people and one-shot them. That doesn't really work if they one-shot you on your approach.
Now, one thing I'll say is, scaling is an interesting topic in League of Legends. I think Darius
Hold
actually
up, we got a fight
scales
breaking out.
relatively.
We have a 4-man dive on the Mel. Okay, that was a quick fight. She's dead. In top lane, Lilia is trying to throw some hands with the Cassante though. He lives. But in the bot lane, we have a quick fight going down. Bowling Kitten 43, he does his little combo. It hurts Cursed Dragons a little bit. I think Vladimir is looking to try to do something here. He burns his Q on a minion, and so they engage onto him immediately. He gets off, it looks like 2 people in the ult, but Darius ran away. He ran off to go clear some minions, and just kind of leaves his Vladimir. Oh, hold up. Darius might be able to throw some... He might be able to throw down this Lee Sin. We got a quick... He hits the dunk! Can he get more? E-Pimp is here to lend some assistance. Okay, no, he can't, because Kassadin flashes onto him, but... Darius is on the board now. I mean, he got a kill onto the Lee Sin. Pretty well played right there. It does sort of suck that he couldn't hit the Q onto the Kassadin, but that's pretty much impossible. They would have had to make a mistake. E-Pimp is throwing some hands with the Poppy. Can he actually finish her off? He's gonna lay it up into display name, and display name gets the shutdown on the Mel. So just Mel gets a 450 gold kill. Darius gets a 600 gold kill. I mean, I don't think Vladimir had a shutdown on him because of the update that they made it where like, oh no, it's because Poppy took it earlier, but Poppy took it earlier, so. Overall, I mean, they saved their turret as well, that's another thing, so. I think it's a positive play for the Super Spreaders, but.
Yeah, but what sort of is
Not
happening,
great.
which I think happened at a little bit of a faster rate in the last game, is you see that BattleRock Bunnies is just finding these better fight angles. Like the name of this game, even the last one was just permafighting, and it just looks like I wouldn't even say that they have necessarily better hands. I think they just pick the fights at better times.
Yeah, I think they have more patience too. I mean, there's been several times where Poppy and Lee Sin will just go sit in a bush and wait for Darius. And sometimes they'll legit sit in the bush for like 45 seconds straight. But if it gets if it works, then it works,
Yeah, I mean, I just see Kassadin kill the Mel there.
Yeah,
Now
he just kind
Kassadin
of
is getting
killed.
pretty scary.
Mel realistically, she had no business walking up that far. I think that was super greedy.
This is the part where Kassadin gets scary, level 15, getting to the big spot.
Darius is running him down though. I mean, Darius is very, very fast. He's able to run down Kassadin despite the fact the guy has 15 dashes. Meanwhile, on the back line, Sky Blue Dragon is getting dove on, but I personally would rather trade Sky Blue Dragon for the Kassadin kill. They actually are not able to kill the Kassadin. What a massive failure. Vladimir can't see. Okay, Vladimir is able to kill the Kassadin. Meanwhile, on the backline, Scoop almost gets killed by display name, but it looks like Vladimir is going to try to 1v3 here near the front, and he cannot do it. E-Pimp is putting in some work. Mel can throw down some damage onto them as well, but she doesn't have ultimate since she used it to kill Scoop. So pretty rough.
Who won the fight? Did blue team win?
Yeah, blue team wins. They get the free dragon.
That is the power. That was all Kassadin, I think.
Traded 2 for
living that
3.
long.
Yeah, Kassadin survived for a really long time. I don't know if Darius was holding ult there for something. Also, I have no idea what Darius is building anymore. What is this shit? Is he what is this?
Looks like he switched midway. His idea that he kind of wants to build MR now.
This is a Titan's mail, bro? Is he trying to get an extra 10 armor and MR for every enemy unit attacking him at once, or what, man?
No idea, man. Yeah, we do see the Kassadin getting strong. Lee Sin with the Maw on Mortis, actually. I think that's a perfect item into what Brett's side has drafted. It's going to be pretty hard to kill. There's one thing about Lee Sin
is
is
really good.
Yeah. But it is still pretty far from Soul Point.
Chansey's going to get run up on by the duo of Krusty Krab and Shiny Trico, and he's only level 14. He healed an awful lot right there, but he might have set it up for Balling Kitten. Never mind. He saw Curse of Dragons. He said, I do not want to deal with that. Balling Kitten 43 is 4 levels down on Shiny Trico. Looks like instead they're going to try to get an engage onto this Kaisa, but E-Pimp kind of pulls him out of the Darius pool. Right? The what?
When Vladimir moves like that, he is down a lot of levels compared to.
Yeah, he's down. He's down levels compared to the Kassadin for sure. He also doesn't have a Rod of Ages, which is also part of it. But at this point, Cassidy, I mean, he presses R and he half healths the Mel. This is going to be a pretty hard fight for them to win. The Lee Sin hits a pretty sick insect into the team to take down Sky Blue Dragon. And there's left with just E-Pimp, Balling Kid in 43, and Chansey to hold down the mid lane. They did just burn most of their they burned most of their ultimates to kill the Mel and the Rakan. They didn't burn the Lily ult though, and so Vladimir is able to go into the pool, but I mean the pool isn't long enough, so.
I hate Cassidy, man. I'm not a fan of this Cassidy champ.
I mean, they had an equal chance to try to do similar things with Vladimir, I think. So, when you pick Cassidy, it's hard to do something into it. Like, you can't do much against it when Poppy is 24/7, like shadowing your Lee Sin who's killing your jungler. How do you even punish it, right? Like, really
the
good
Darius
pick.
that was supposed to be the Cassidy kryptonite kind of got messed up in the early game, and now we are at this situation where Cassidy team has a 5k gold lead. Cassidy is up almost, I want to say, like 3 levels on the Vladimir. Maybe if blue team chain ints one fight, it's winnable, but
I've seen it in
I don't
OLS
know.
before. Let's not discount that possibility, okay? I've seen some insane shit happen. I saw a man teleport over the wall on a dragon just so he could Cho'Gath ult it. Okay.
Did it work?
It did actually. It was a super funny clip. It was an Elder Drake too.
Well, hey, I mean, power to him, right?
I mean, Mel is just caught out again. Lincoln 43 gets his passive off, but kind of doesn't mean anything when Kassadin is flickering in and out of existence directly in front of you.
And yeah, awesome Cassidy champ. Well played. Dope as hell, actually. That guy takes damage to Cassidy. Takes a lot of it.
Yeah, he is very tanky. By this point, I mean they get a tower in the bot lane. Vlad is throwing some hands at the Kassadin, but this guy just has infinite mana. Jesus Christ, wait, how many times he casts his ult there? Poppy pings Kassadin alive. I was trying to see how many times he uses ult there, but I guess I couldn't see it. You're gonna try to set up a trap here. I mean, at this point, you might as well, right?
Bro, I
But it got
don't.
caught out.
This Cassidy champ actually makes me mad. Like, what do you even do against it?
And you get bombed. What do you do against it? You are ahead like a lot by this point. If Cassante had left lane and gone to help Darius, I think, and just left the Kassadin to free farm like he was gonna. I mean, it's not like Cassante being there was stopping him from free farming, right? Like
Yeah.
the counter to this is not to try to counter at 29 minutes into the game. The counter is to
Win early, yeah.
yeah, it is to be ahead really far because you essentially played 4v5 for the first like 20 minutes of the game.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate. I mean, I see the Cassidy had no. Well, no, he can just ult. Nope, he can just ult.
Yeah, I mean, like, so yeah, he does look really strong now, but it's like a,
I know,
it's like an
I know.
ASOL, you know, like, okay, well, yeah, if you just if you let an ASOL sit in AFK farm for like half an hour, then yeah, Lilia is gonna be able to get away from this engage. Maybe those Darius nerfs were pretty good. All right, maybe they were quite strong nerfs.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks unfortunate. Just unfortunate. But I mean, I am playing up the the red side here because I wanted to game 3. I think credit should go where credit is due. Enrique again, strong performance, knowing when to punish the Darius here, working with the I would say hidden MVP of the series, Curse of Dragons here. Um,
Yeah, I would
really,
probably say Curse of Dragons is the MVP. I mean, Shiny Trico and Enrique have both done their job, but I think that it's much harder for them to do their job if Curse of Dragons isn't doing his so well, you know. And I think at this point we're just kind of
it sounds simple.
they're straight up winning 4v5 right now. I mean, Lilia is just like chilling in a side lane. This play name tries to get a little bit of a combo out, and Skyblue Dragon is trying to peel, but I mean, at this point, it's a bit too little too late. You simply do not have the damage
A
required
bit
to
unfortunate
kill
here
through,
for.
I mean, ultimately the counter to this, I think, is actually just to have an ADC on your team who can right-click Kassadin and burn him down while he's, in range.
Thank you for riding with Cessna. Take care. Have a great night.
Yep, that is the issue you see with some of these like AP heavy comps, right? I saw that you see that worlds like Genji. They I remember they picked Caston into like a new Oriana comp. It's just like, oh well, what do you do?
Yeah. Die. Lose the game. Surrender vote failed for red team 3-1. They got ASAP on their team. I want to know. I want to know. Hold on. I want to know who is voting no and who is abstaining from the vote on this team. There's no chance. Okay, I'm gonna say Chansey 1000% voted yes. He probably was the one that put up the FF vote. Display name probably said yes.
I would say
I
E-Pimp
think-
was probably the no. That guy's
yeah.
a rock.
This guy is. I think. Yeah, he probably is saying. He's probably saying no. And I'm gonna say probably. Okay, we got another fight going on in the mid lane. Chansey does survive the initial jump in, but Kassadin's able to just kind of walk away. I mean, they're trying to mount a resistance here. They catch Lilia out. She goes down, so I mean they get a shutdown onto Vladimir of all champions, so
If
that's
Vladimir hits
good.
level 18,
Krusty
it's
Krab is
playable.
looking for a fight here. Okay, never mind. He kicks him in. Using that Mel as a projectile is able to kill Rakan. And just like that, any hope is really snuffed out here. They probably just win the game off that. Yeah, I'm gonna say Balling Kitten 43 was the guy who did not vote. And I think that Skyblue Dragon... No, I bet Skyblue Dragon didn't vote. But Skyblue Dragon didn't vote. E-Pimp said no. The rest of the three of them tried to FF. And you know what? I respect whoever said no, actually. It's an OLS game, bro. You can't FF an OLS game.
Some of them are, sometimes you see like a 25-5 game and you're like,
It's kind of like throwing the towel. Maybe it's because I play ADC, so my mentality is warped a bit. I mean, a big game from the BLACKROCK Battle Bunnies, though. I personally am gonna say my MVP for the series is gonna be Curse of Dragons.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
So,
that
I
you
think
could easily say it's Shiny Trico, and you could easily say it's Krusty Krab as well. But Curse of Dragons, he's a really huge enabler for his team.
My thing was they won the game both times the same way. That is, get your support, have them running around with the jungler, and kill the enemy jungle or the enemy mid laner a bunch of times, and just do that, solid like 5 or 6 times, and you get like a nice 3K gold lead, and then you just brawl it out from there. Because I don't think teams were making very many interesting macro decisions. It was kind of just like, let's just run around and kill people, and that's what happened. And that can't happen if your support isn't Curse of Dragons.
Yep, I fully agree. I mean, there are other supports that can do it. I mean, Holiday can do it. I mean, he's the first one that comes to mind. I'm sure there's two other guys I just haven't been watching too much.
I used to do it, but
But I
I'm
mean,
not at
Curse
the
of
level
Dragons
of
is
these guys.
he's solid. He's really good at that roaming playstyle. And it seems like previously he hasn't been able to find a team that can play around it and that can take advantage of it. But it seems like he has found the perfect team to get in. Let me
Yeah,
hop
long
down.
show from Krusty Krab. Hello?
What's up? Yeah, sorry, I'm typing.
No, you're good. Yeah, strong showing from the Krusty Krabs team. I mean, I'm not. Obviously, Nigel's team was a little bit one of the lower ranked ones, but I think,
I mean, it's a convincing victory, I'd say.
yeah,
And convincing victories are just as good against bad
they're,
teams than good ones. Hold on, can you move down to David's chat in the BlackRock Battle Bunnies?
yeah, I got it.
All right, cool. Yo, what's up, David?
Yo, what's up?
Uh, well, we've been casting the game, we've been watching, we've been, you know, talking
So,
about
Yep.
who we would consider to be the MVP of the series, and my vote and Nightshine's vote both went to you for the series.
Oh, thank
Not
you.
to
Yeah.
say that Krusty Krab. So we could both say that Krusty Krab and Shiny Trico both played their asses off for sure. Everyone on the team played quite well. You could probably say Shiny Trico is the MVP. You could probably say Krusty Krab is the MVP. But I think that neither of those two guys are able to do their job as well as they did without the support that the Curse of Dragons classic roaming playstyle is able to impart. Um, so I just like to ask, when you're roaming around, is it you who's like, we're going here, or is it Enrique that's like, follow me, brother?
It's kind of both. Sometimes it's Enrique telling me here's a really good play to make, follow me, and sometimes I am a psychopath asking for nonsense. Uh, Game one, the Lux, all three of us hiding in Tribush topside. That was awfully my idea. Game two, I don't know what happened, but I turned into I was a psychopath and I made a lot of calls to just drag Enrique around with me to
It
go.
worked out. I mean, it's hard to say that it wasn't working when you look at the stat sheet after. Um, I guess we can start with game one. I mean, game one, you have the Blitzcrank available and you didn't pick it. Is there a specific reason why?
Yeah, I mean they locked in Cassante, Thresh, and that's immediately just not a great matchup for Blitz. And then I think their third pick wasn't Ezreal, that was B5, and the Vex was B4. I don't even remember the third pick, but I remember it wasn't.
Jungle Nocturne.
Oh yeah, Jungle
Yeah, as a
Nocturne.
Nocturne.
So the first three picks they showed were Cassante, who can use his W, Nocturne with a spell shield, and Thresh, which is a traditionally bad matchup. So I didn't even
Is
bother.
it?
It was just
I would think that it's Blitz favored because Thrush isn't that tanky early. But I don't know. You're the expert.
if they both hit each other with the hooks, because when they hook, they both stun themselves. They can't move, and Thresh's hook pulls Blitzcrank further, or he just
I
stuns
see.
longer.
Well, also he can also, I mean, lantern out, right? That's
Yeah,
another
he can always
aspect.
lantern out.
Curso
You're playing with
Bussin
so many
versus a
people.
dragon, says why. That's kind of based, actually. I like that. That might need to be your next team name, bro. Curso Bussin versus a dragon. But yeah, so a little sad to not see the Blitzcrank pick, but I'm sure you
Yeah.
were you were pretty happy with how that game ended up.
Yeah, it was.
Overall, really good look from you in the game one. That the Tribe Rush camp against the Nocturne made me sick to watch. It actually made me a bit nauseous. Um, I actually I think I went silent on the cast for about 10 seconds. I was like, "Don't do it, Nigel, bro. Come on, man." And then he did it, and I was like, "That's rough, bro." Um, but yeah, I mean, a really solid. And then game two. What was the thought process on? I mean, I saw you sit in a bush for like a minute straight at one point with Lee Sin by the Gromp, right? Do
Yeah.
you have a limit to how long you'll sit in a bush and wait, or is it really
Uh,
just you just play it by ear and you're just like, fuck it, bro. We've been sitting here for 30 seconds already. Might as well. What's another 20?
uh, Probably like 2 minutes, which is more than it should be.
That's insane.
2 minutes.
I want to
That's
see.
crazy.
Nah, I'm gonna need to see that happen in the game. I need to see you sit in a bush for 2 minutes straight, bro.
I mean, at some point, that was just like mental warfare what we were doing. Those are just some incorrect plays, but Enrique's so good you can just make it work.
I mean, yeah, sometimes the incorrect play is that sometimes you gotta choose the unsafe choice. All right.
Yeah.
Especially when you're up into a Darius jungle, and I mean, as I'm sure you know because you executed pretty well into it. If Darius jungle is behind, that shit's beyond useless. I mean, he's a walking 300 gold bag of money, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, do you have any shout outs, any comments, concerns? You want to shit talk some? I'll give you the mic.
Not that.
Interested to
No,
see
I want
what
to give a
team
big.
would,
I'm
if
sorry.
you were to make finals, what team would you want to play against?
What team would I want to play against? Hmm. I I'm not even sure. I think I'd want to face Vax team one more time. One more
Well, now that
Mama
they
Oh, okay.
Vax
now
in a
that
row.
they removed the lane swaps, you might be
Yeah,
able
no
to.
lane swaps. What are they gonna do
I don't know if
now?
he's gonna make it to finals, bro.
Might
Can we
see
can we have a
a
little more can we have a little more realistic answer? Can you pick one of the
uh,
any other teams that are gonna maybe be there?
or what do you think, aside from you, obviously, are the teams to look out for in the playoffs?
teams to look out for in the playoffs. I don't even know. In a best of three like this with Fearless, I think it could be anyone. So I'm gonna wait and see who comes out. I don't know if I can make a call right
Yeah,
now.
on
That's
I think
fair.
humility, I
everyone's
like it.
I think everyone's looking at Kyle's team. Obviously, they were so strong during regular season.
No, I
So
mean Kyle's team also emulates your sort of play style pretty closely. The
yeah,
running around with the support and just kind of just sitting your bot lane and saying, okay, well, it doesn't matter if my ADC is, or if you put a mage down there, right? You just let them farm it out. They're not gonna die. If they do die, who gives a shit, right? But the enemy
yeah,
jungler is useless because you're just playing like Poppy and sitting on their face the whole game. You know.
yeah. Oh,
Uh,
I do want to give a shout out to Scoopa because it didn't look like it. It was hard to see, but he was holding it down in the bot lane, 1v2 for like 2 games straight, and kept doing well, CSing good. Like that's a tough job to be given as an ADC.
Hey, true. I will. I will plus two that immediately, bro. Scoop did hold it down. He held it down really well game one. Game two, he faltered a little bit because he got cheesed by Mel. I can't really fault him for that either because that champ is disgusting. But he wasn't really getting like dookied on like you would expect from a 2v1, you know.
Right.
If with how hard you and Enrique were shitting on that Darius, the tiny bit of poop that got thrown at Scoop is not really that bad, you know.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, really good game. GG. And enjoy. I'm gonna consider you the MVP of that series. Not that Yusuf or Enrique don't deserve it. They both played incredible, but I think the Curse of Dragons pulled up, bro. All 18 points of them.
All 18 points of them.
Maybe next draft you'll go
I
for
can go for
20, eh?
20. Yeah, I'll go for
Yeah.
20.
Maybe 25 if somebody wants to splurge, you know.
Nah, I'm not with that. I'm not with that.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
GG, my dude.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Thanks, boss. You too. All right. So we've concluded the post game interview. Really good game from everybody involved. It was an entertaining watch for sure. And we'll see if somebody can do. I've seen several of these sort of cycles before where it's like there's a popular strategy in OLS and it's popular for a while and then eventually somebody figures out how to counter it or how to deal with it or Riot patches it out of the game. Um, I've seen it with like double support bot. I've seen it with the lane swaps a little bit. But I think now we're starting to see it with the like perma roam support, where you just go and you heckle them in the jungle for the entire game. Uh, and
You
I'm
know what my
I saw it with the Camille too, with like MJ's Camille support and like shit like that. Um, And eventually people figured out how to deal with that. I'm curious if we'll see somebody figure it out and have a winning working strategy to try to mitigate like the perma invade +1 with support play style that like Enrique's team or like Kyle's team employs, you know.
I think the angle is just don't be there as a jungle. I think that's what the angle is.
Yeah,
Because
well,
if they go and invade and like they're trying to take your camps, you can either try to go for a play elsewhere and mitigate that in like cross map, or you just counter jungle, right? And I think that's kind of what the evolution has to be. It just comes down to jungle tracking.
yeah, I
That's the
mean,
only thing I can think of personally.
I don't know, like, cause even then it's really hard, cause it's not like you can just give up all your camps, which is almost what you'd have to do, right? I mean, maybe on
I mean, I
some
don't know though.
champions
I've
you
had
can get
some
away with that a little bit, but most of the time you can't just like not farm, right?
just pick Jarvan, bro.
I
Just
mean,
pick
you
Jarvan.
gotta farm on Jarvan, bro.
Yes. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say he's a good role model. There's this guy called Malrang who played in LEC, and he would just like not farm and just like permagank, and he won a championship like that. So,
Yeah, I mean,
every,
like you can okay. So here's like the other issue, right? Which is that if
I know he's not
you
very good now.
are
He's pretty strong now.
yeah, but
I'm
like
just saying.
no, no, no. I think that you can definitely play something that's permaganking. The problem that you would run into is that like in that game, let me pull back up the draft, right? So like if you pick something that permaganks instead of Darius, like are you realistically ganking Aurelia? Probably not. Are you realistically ganking if you try to gank Lilia or you try to gank Kassadin mid, there's an equal chance that their support is there with their jungler and you are now fighting a 4v3 or a
You know
2v4
what?
or whatever,
I
right?
think the jungler that does pretty well that game,
What?
Garner. I think Skarner is not bad that game. The E is to suppress if he can land it, and a little bit of AD.
Yeah, maybe. I could see it. Like
I don't know. I mean, there has, like you said, there has to be some way to like solve it. The other thing is you can just have your support shadow, but I don't even think that's good because usually whoever gets the first move on the jungler in that sort of situation is the one who wins. So I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
think that I mean maybe you just have to have everyone on your team buying control wards and just planting them all over the jungle. Uh
Or yeah, another third thing is you just try to trade for the AD, right?
yeah,
Try
I
to go a
mean
little
yeah.
harder.
But then again, like so I think maybe that's what you have to do. Maybe you just gank bot and you make the bot lane's life suck really bad, and then if Lee Sin and Poppy come bot to fight back, then it's a 3v3, right? At least it's equal in that respect. I think the problem is like if you pick a gank heavy jungler, you can't really gank top or mid in every matchup, right? And even the matchups that you can gank them, there's always the risk that the like essentially two junglers come to counter gank you, and then you're at a disadvantage, right? You almost have to pick
Yeah,
another. I mean, maybe you have to pick another support that is really um, roaming like heavy, but if you're doing that, then you sort of have to have a high rank support to make that work. Because most mid or most like silver, gold, platinum supports, they don't really know how to roam, not very well.
yeah.
And they'll cause more
I guess.
damage than they help your team, right? I don't know. It's a really odd and difficult question to answer, but I'm sure somebody will do it. It's just a matter of who, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited to see who's able to test this team. I think Scoop is a rock. That's something we didn't really touch on in the series, but Scoop was a rock for them. I think you can maybe punish the top lane as we saw with the Vladimir, but I mean the rest of the players are just pretty damn solid, man. Not
Yeah.
really sure what to say. With that, I got to sign off, but thanks for having me. Sorry about the background noise.
Oh no,
And
you're good. It's all right, man. Well, thanks for coming to Duo Q. These streams, it's nice to have somebody around to talk when I'm eating my spaghetti, bro.
yeah, of course, no problem. I'm available.
Uh,
I'll try to
Aye,
do
aye,
the other one.
Capitan. Well, I believe that is gonna be it from the OLS stream. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream and the games. Um, And oh, what is this? Oh, I apologize. I was just showing my profile page here. Good heavens. What is that? Solo Duo Master. Holy heavens. I apologize, guys. I didn't mean to show that.
Oh, how am I gonna
Yeah.
draft you next season, man?
My my
I gotta
my
hit up.
Magnum condoms fell out of my wallet. Oh no. Uh but yeah, I mean thanks for watching everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Peace out.